standpoint, take yourself back to the future. Start out in the future. The moment, let's say I start a time machine, I build one here in front of you, I start it right now.
Yeah.
An hour from now,
Right.
I am going to decide whether I step back into that time machine and come back to this moment to meet you guys,
Right.
be my own twin. All right. Before I step into that machine in the future, I was not here.
That's right.
After I step into that machine and hypothetically come back out of it in the future, observing from that future standpoint again, now I was here.
Well, wait a minute, I think you get a little bit confused. Here's the deal. This is I'm going to try to make this really simple. Okay.
There's continuity.
This is where people get really screwed up. All right. Here's the deal. You have a device that has a causal link to a particular point in space, okay, and time. All right. And you turn that on, and you leave it on. Okay. It is running, and you let an hour go by. Okay. That means you could go back through. In other words, if it's an opening, okay, you could go through it. And you could see what was going on an hour ago, okay? Now, so if you turn it off, then that would make you cut off from the future that you came from, which was an hour after you turned the machine on, okay? You follow me so far? All right. So let's say you do not turn it off, all right? The future that we were in, the hour previous to the time the machine was turned on, is still going to be there and running, okay? And you still have a connection to it because you've got an opening there. All right, where you can kind of ring the slip or wormhole, whatever. You still have that opening there. You still have that connection, all right? So you can go back and forth between an hour ago and an hour previous to that, or an hour later, and as time goes on, the clocks are running, it's getting longer and longer and longer. You can still have that connection there, even though universes are splitting off. Because what happens is this: the universe is splitting off even as we're sitting here. So there's an infinite number of copies of us being made all the time. All right. So even though you have that machine you turn on, and you have a link to a pass. That's one pass out of a near infinite number of passes that are being created because of all the different universes they're splitting off. You follow me so far? So when you talk about the future, you have to be very specific about what future you're talking about. You're talking about the future of the timeline that you go back to, the future that you came from, or that kind of thing. It's easy to get this stuff screwed up. Okay. And the problems that arise from these type of discussions have to do with semantics sometimes, have to do with comprehension of the concepts involved, and all that kind of thing. But what I want to stress is that solutions to really the practical application of this type of research has to do with dealing with the nitty-gritty details, all right, and those kind of questions. And that's the kind of thing that I'm into.